Hello everyone and welcome to another video here of the Tour of Slovenia 2024, and this was a big stage. This was the mountain stage of the race. Bahrain victorious, already having a number of successes. Mahete Morhic, not one of them unfortunately, the former podium finisher, but they did have the red jersey with Phil Bauhaus, who took the stage win on stage 2, and they had a very strong roster and one of the favorites for today. These fans were out in numbers for Slovenia, and Giulio Pellizzari, the white jersey wearer of VF Group, was one man to look towards. The youngster, very successful already in this year's Tour of Slovenia, and they looked a very strong outfit. Filippo Zana was another man to look towards, the winner of last year's edition, but it was Aleotti, another Italian, who had the green jersey, the leader's jersey, and Bora Hansgrohe were looking to defend that here on this stage. Aleotti, a superb victory yesterday, and this was the stage of stage 4. 3 categorized 3 climbs before we come into that Cat 1 climb. 147.2 kilometers in total, and it certainly was going to be a stern test for many of these riders. But the race got underway, and the leaders looked fairly relaxed in the neutralized zone. The red jersey, the green jersey, the white jersey, and even the dark blue jersey of the mountains jersey. And a lot of riders were looking to get in the early breakaway as well, but much of the peloton was not too worried about that. They were more thinking about the mountain later on. But the race got underway, and it was one of the Ljubljana teams, the continental team, that got up the road, and he was trying to make sure that he could get up by himself, but that wasn't the case, as shortly after the breakaway went from 1 man to almost 5 or even 6. Groupama FDJ are visible up there as well with Q36.5, but the day's breakaway wasn't too important, let's be honest. It was more about the mountain, but they got quite an advantage here with 69 kilometers to go. The most mentionable rider in this group was probably the Hungarian Peak, who is a former Giro d'Italia finisher, of course, and was on the World Tour briefly. But 3 minutes and 34 seconds was what they built up after 68.5 kilometers to the finish. But the peloton looking not too worried, with Bora Hansgrohe leading the charge through these narrow streets of Slovenia. The riders up front, the breakaway was growing, and it was about 8 riders, with the mountains jersey also being present up there, and that was quite interesting for Corotec. But it was EF Education EasyPost sharing the workload as well with Bora Hansgrohe, as they were looking to do something for the Irish champion Ben Healy, and with 31.8 kilometers they had 3 minutes and 55 seconds to breakaway. Quite a substantial lead when you think about it, but it is a mountain stage, and you can see the mountain in the distance, and quite an ominous sight for the riders to see. And Slovenia is such a beautiful country with so many mountains, to say the least. But the riders were going to make their way up there. Shortly after, we could see from the helicopter shot how close the breakaway and the peloton actually were, with the 4 riders who were remaining very close indeed, and the peloton just zooming past most of the terrain, and they were very, very close to making the catch. Pellizzari, 6th place overall, only 21 seconds down, was one of the favorites for today potentially to do something, and VF Group certainly knew that, as well, as they were the ones helping in the chase. They brought back the final breakaway rider with 9.4 kilometers to go, but Jayco Alula soon took over control here with 3 riders up towards the front. They wanted to defend the Tour of Slovenia title they had from last year, and they isolated Aleotti in the process, and Ben Healy was also a bit isolated, and Jayco Alula really showing the might that they had here on the mountain stage. Absolutely remarkable, but the others were really suffering, and the first one to drop out of the big guys potentially was Narvaez, the Ecuadorian national champion, not able to hold the pace being put on by Jayco. But Bilbao, he was one of the riders who was able to hold the pace, and he upped the pace, putting Jayco Alula in trouble, and Jayco Alula disappeared very quickly. But Aleotti was marking the Basque rider with all his might. Ben Healy out the back, Domenico Pozzovivo holding on as well. But we could see the damage that had been told by the teams just scattered across this mountain, with Filippo Zana, one of the riders, struggling here towards the back end, but he was finding all he could. We also saw Paul Double in the mix once again, but what can he do here? The Englishman, he wasn't quite towards the front, but he wanted to try and catch the trio out in front with Pozzovivo, Bilbao and Aleotti. Aleotti looking behind to see how much distance they had of an advantage, but Paul Double was trying to close the gap here. He escaped from the second group, making the charge towards that first group with 2.1 kilometers to go. He could see the 3, and the Polti Cometa rider successfully got away from that second group. With 1.6 kilometers to go, we had Bilbao upping the pace. Aleotti frantically trying to keep on the Basque rider's wheel, and we could see that Paul Doppel and Domenico Pozzovivo were doing their best as well to keep this up. Bilbao looked behind, nobody was willing to chase him, and soon the second group was looming in arrears. Towards the finishing punch, we could see Domenico Pozzovivo struggling a bit behind the trio, or the three other riders. Paul Doppel looking behind, seeing that second group and upping the ante a bit, and then the second group very close to this front quartet, but the quartet was halved, with Paul Doppel and Bilbao getting a bit of a gap between Domenico Pozzovivo and Aleotti. Then we had Paul Doppel leading them out. They were all back together, and this was going to be a sprint finish between the four climbers. Quite interesting who would have the best kick. On paper, probably Bilbao, and the others also knew that as well, with less than 200 meters to go. But Pellizzari made his way back, and then Bilbao opened up, and there was no one able to challenge the Basque rider, just getting an absolutely incredible kick away from them, and he left them for dust. And Bilbao convincingly took the win, pointing up to the sky, Gino Mere in his memory, and then we had Paul Doppel finishing second, and we also had Aleotti defending his jersey there. But Tobias Haller Johansson also coming over for Uno X, with Bahrain victorious, looking like they had two riders in the top 10. But Bilbao, what a victory. The distance he got between himself and the three other riders was absolutely incredible. But anyways, here's a confirmation of the top 10 of the stage, and we had Bilbao winning the stage 3 seconds down to Paul Doppel, and Aleotti with Pellizzari finishing 4th, Domenico Pozzovivo in 5th, and Tobias Haller Johannesson in 6th, with Sabanini in 7th place, Stef Kras in 8th place, and in 9th place Doma Novak, the best Slovenian. And then we also had Zapata from Kern Pharma, which was a good result for the Pro Continental team. But anyways, let's hear what the winner had to say about the stage.
Thank you very much. Yeah, great tactics like every day here in Slovenia. No, the team is taking the responsibility in the right moments. We are making an intelligent race, and after yesterday's stage, we were pretty confident that today was going to be a proper stage for me. And yeah, it's important date tomorrow for us. Today I had in mind that this was going to be the perfect stage to dedicate to Gino. And almost 1 year later, my next victory, after the Tour de France, I was a long period without winning, but today was yes or yes. In the end, I could go also for the leader Jesse, but I wanted to ensure the stage victory, and I did a huge effort. In the last 100 meters, I was just thinking on making full effort till the line, and yeah, a great day for us.
Yeah! Bravo!
But in terms of the overall classification, we have it here. Aleotti still keeps a margin of 12 seconds down to Bilbao. In third place, Pellizzari, who moves up from 6th place. Domenico Pozzovivo in 4th place. Stef Kras in 5th place. And Zapata from Kern Pharma is 6th. Paul Doppel in 7th. The defending champion, Filippo Zana in 8th. Ben Healy in 9th. And Tobias Haller Johannesson in 10th place. But the green jersey is staying on the shoulders of Aleotti, and quite an incredible stage, you have to say. But with that, that's basically it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel here on the Cycling Dane Extra, and if you haven't already, comment down below what you thought of the Tour of Slovenia, and I will see you tomorrow for the final stage.